It's the 3 days after Valentine's Day special. Welcome everybody to the 3 days after Valentine's Day. In fact, it's been like a week. It's been about a week since Valentine's Day. And
almost.
This movie came out like 3 weeks ago. Why are we doing this review?
You know, it made more money last weekend than the weekend it
Yeah,
came
well,
out.
of course it did. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but
a
I mean,
Valentine's
like, it already
Day
didn't
movie.
do well. We're talking about Hard Eyes.
Yeah,
And
they
we're
know.
kind of talking about it because it's people. It's like got legs, and I don't understand.
People love this movie.
We were talking to someone at one of the theater things that we do.
Yeah.
And she was just like, "Oh, it's good. I was laughing. It was so good."
It was good. Yeah, I was laughing. I laughed at a few scenes.
Yeah,
like,
but I
a
feel
couple
like
people
you
are
laughed for the
insufferable.
wrong-
The crowd in front of me was like eating it up. They were laughing at like every scene possible.
Yeah.
Like this movie has a good concept.
Yeah.
It's just a slasher. They just wanted their own like character, like Michael Myers or like Terrifier.
But
You know,
it's really hard to do that, like funny, but
like a Scream.
yeah, like you can take yourself. You have to. It's so goddamn precise.
Yeah.
And to me, they biffed hard on that.
This is Temu Scream. It's Temu Scream without and I hate that like everybody wants their own icon in the horror world where it's like stop trying to make Hard Eyes a thing. It's not going to become a thing. That's not going to be like the #1 Halloween costume this year, because it came out now in February. So by the time October
Halloween's
rolls around, everybody will have forgotten about this
Now, what would
movie.
you do from a production standpoint? Would you have tried to rush production to get it out by Halloween, or would you just delayed it until this year? Because I think, to me, it would have made more money
in Halloween?
at Halloween. I know it's Valentine's, but I sincerely
That's my
think
problem. Is
it would have
because
made
it
more
is
money.
literally Valentine's Day. Same with Love Hurts. It would have been a fine movie had it not mentioned Valentine's Day 8,000 times.
Yeah.
This is Scream on Valentine's Day. It's Halloween. It's Halloween, but Valentine's Day. It's all those slasher Nightmare on Elm Street, but Valentine's Day.
Instead of calling it Halloween or
It's
Valentine's Day,
Day.
they called it Hard Eyes.
Hard Eyes. Right. And
Because
it could have
it's
just been called Valentine's Day, and then you would have gotten an homage to like Halloween. That would have been a better name. Hard Eyes is a terrible name, especially because they keep calling like the Hard Eyes Killer. Heck is on the loose. The Hard Eyes Killer is on the loose. Stop trying to make that a thing. It's not going to become a thing. I hate when people try and shove something down your throat that needs to be a thing when it's not.
Because lately, in the last 5 years or so, pretty much any horror movie that was even okay, that made any kind of box office, got a sequel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Smile.
Just a name more like, oh, we got to make Megan's getting another one.
Right.
Like all these movies, we got to
Right.
make sequels.
Right.
Do we need sequels?
I'm surprised if we get a Talk to Me. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Talk to Me sequel.
I don't want like a
This
Night
one
Swim
sets
2.
up a sequel.
This one
kind of.
absolutely. No, they want to make. You're not wrong.
Yep.
They want to make this the new Jason, the new Freddy thing.
That's what they want, their icon character. When like Terrifier only did so well as like a new breakout character because it is so creepy and
Clowns are
indie
creepy,
and
though.
indie and like
Yeah,
low budget.
yeah.
Like the first Terrifiers are very low budget. It's shot in 60 frames. There's no color correction. It's terrible. It's one of the worst movies ever made,
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, you
Somehow
were
it became
telling
a cult
me.
classic. This is not going to become a cult classic. It'll be like, I took my date to this on Valentine's Day and we laughed at it. It's not like, man, I can't wait to watch this next Valentine's Day. Like it's not going to have those kind of, it may have theater legs. It will not have like
No.
cultural legs.
Right. It's not going to be like, hey, in 10 years, and like, hey, everybody watch that cult classic Valentine's Day.
No.
Or Hard Eyes. See, I still want to call it
right,
Valentine's
you want to call
Day.
it Valentine's. Or like Eli Roth, like Thanksgiving. It wasn't called like The Pilgrimage, Pilgrimize. You know what I mean? Like it was called
the Gobble Gobble Killer.
Gobble Killer. The Turkey Killer. Yeah, right. Like, of course not, because then it's automatically just cheesy.
Stupid.
And they try to do this like rom-com meet cute in the middle of this slasher, and it just
This is what I didn't like about it.
It's weird.
They wanted, like, I get it, like a different spin, and we're going to do like a horror
I
rom-com.
appreciated that.
But it did not
Execution
work.
was not there.
It did not work.
On paper, that's like like no one's ever done that, and then we
Mhm.
do it, and it's like, well, now we know why no one's ever done that, because it didn't pay off for them.
It didn't.
I think it's like two characters meet in a coffee shop. The characters are actually more connected than they know. One person is about to lose their job. The other person who they meet in the coffee shop is like set there to help her and or take her job. Then they have to go to a dinner, a date. It's not a date. Hard Eyes only kills couples, but they have to kiss in front of her ex to make her think, or make him think
that's
she's
right.
on a date. It's just like, it's what we talked about, like, oh, we got to write this scene that doesn't make any sense to make the scene that doesn't make any sense make more sense.
Make slightly more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is this to a T.
Yeah, the whole movie was. That's the problem I think we've been seeing more and more is like premises a lot of times are cool. Someone will come.
The concept
like,
of this,
like the pitch
should
meeting
work.
things.
Yes.
Like on, the first line is like, I got an idea.
You
And
break
it's
it down
like,
to its
cool,
core.
but then when you start breaking it down, you're like, this is not a good idea.
No.
Or at
No.
least it wasn't executed the way that maybe it was pitched to be
This movie was executed terribly. Can we look up the budget? Do we know
Yes,
the
I
budget
was
for
pulling
this
some
movie?
stuff up right now.
Because I want to know, because there are scenes for about half of this movie. It's like daytime, and then it's like Valentine's Day night. Like they go out on their date. She goes home. She locked herself out of her house. The guy's like,
Right,
let me go
yeah.
help her. And then it's nighttime for the entire rest of the movie. And it is this weird color correction where they make it look like nighttime, but they didn't do enough to make it not look just blue.
Yeah.
And they do that for the rest of the movie. Like, there's a scene where they're in a police station. And it's like, you cannot see the color of somebody's skin because it's just pure blue. And like inside the police station, pure blue. Do they not have lights on? Does nobody have light? There's not a blackout. They don't set up this blackout thing. So they should have lights on. There should be some color. There is no color. They go to a drive-in. It's the same thing. It's the same like
to
desaturated
me, the entire
blue.
budget was like the merry-go-round fair thing. Like that
yes,
whole, that was
at
like,
the end.
yeah,
the
that was
drive-in
like the
scene that they
entire-
used twice,
Yeah.
by the way. They used that location twice.
18
like,
million
Yeah.
is the budget.
Okay. That makes sense. Sub 20, you know. Checks out. How much did this make opening weekend, can I ask?
I think, I can't remember. It wasn't a lot. This
Okay.
past weekend, it made almost 10.
Okay. See, for an 18 million, though, that's
The
not
weekend
bad.
before, it made like 5 or 6 or whatever. So it
hasn't
went up.
even-
It was something
so it's
like
maybe
that.
broken even by now.
Yeah.
Maybe, with the 4-day. So,
it's at 23 million worldwide, which is mostly just America.
so it's made like $4 million then. Like,
Not even. Really,
Yeah.
it needs to probably get closer to 40 before
Wow.
it makes
yeah,
some
which I don't
profit.
think it won't leg out after this last weekend.
Yeah,
which is
I
a
can't
problem.
imagine.
which is a
Yeah, like I
problem.
don't think it
Yeah.
hit like they thought. The director Josh Rubin did horror comedies, Scare Me and Werewolves Within.
I've never heard of those.
I haven't heard of those either.
I'm sure those are on par with this movie though, to where it's like it was watchable, but it wasn't.
Oh yeah,
it
Werewolves
wasn't-
Within is like a kind of a culty kind of funny movie. It came out. That was but see, that one did $6.5 million budget.
Okay, see,
That one's probably more.
this movie is like I don't want to think about it ever again. Not because it was like bad, it was just so like, It existed. It was
Both-
entertaining a little bit while watching, but the kills weren't even great. Like
No, it was. I told you, it reminded me a lot of the Thanksgiving movie.
yeah.
Like it tonally, it was all over the place.
And you're right. There's this weird cop partner.
the Hobbs and Shaw.
They do a Hobbs and Shaw bit, guys,
I
to where
can't.
it's like, I'm Jonesy Shaw, and this is Ashley Hobbs. You know,
I
And
felt
then
like they were in our face. Like,
smash cut to main character, Hobbs and Shaw, like the movie.
that's.
Somebody wrote that.
I know. I saw
and
this
thought they
before him, and
cooked.
I'm like, I can't do the review by myself explaining because I have to. You have to see how stupid.
Why? Why is that a
have to.
scene? Was
I
this
know.
written? When did Hobbs and Shaw come out? Look that up. When did Hobbs and Shaw
Oh,
come out?
way before this.
Well, yeah, no, I
Yeah.
know, but was it like 2018 Hobbs and
think it
Shaw
was.
came out?
Like
Was
how-
this movie written in fucking 2018? Like, I'm surprised there's not crypto references and like NFTs. Somebody's not
It's
joking
ba-
about
it's-
this is that kind of movie
it's-
where somebody would joke about NFTs 3 years
it's-
later and think they're topical.
It's the smelling your own fart thing. The writer's like, hey, we got somebody from the Fast franchise. What
Yes.
if we make a Fast and Furious joke?
But you're referencing the best Fast and Furious movie. Hobbs and Shaw fucks compared
Yeah.
to any other Fast and Furious
for
movie.
for the type of cheese it is, yeah.
Like-
that fight scene where they're fighting down the hallway, yeah.
Or they didn't name those characters Hobbs and Shaw and they were like, oh, it's like the movie. No,
No.
that was on purpose.
That was on purpose.
And it was only set up for this one fucking
It was
throwaway joke.
A punchline that just, for what?
Why?
Yeah.
Why? It reminded me of the
See, I
same
told
level of movie like Thanksgiving, you're right. Or that shitty Kevin Hart movie, Lift, that we watched.
Ugh.
Yeah, where it's just like, this sucks. The characters suck. Quick, name a character's name in this movie. Right? Right.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw, done. Hard Eyes Killer. Yeah, it's just boring. It's got, I don't know who the leading lady is. She's very familiar. I'm sure people are going to come at us
yeah.
for not knowing who she is. The main dude was in the Scream reboot with Jenna Ortega, which we saw. here.
Yeah.
So they've been in stuff before. I don't think they've been in a lot. This might be their first like
No, it
leading
felt-
roles, but
it
she's
felt
definitely been in
very-
more. I've seen her around more than I've seen him.
I didn't necessarily. The acting wasn't the worst compared to the rest of the.
No, the acting was fine.
acting
They
was
were fine.
fine.
The writing was terrible.
It's
The dialogue
writing.
sucked.
The dialogue
Like,
and the writing and the dumbness that just.
they do this scene where they're like trying to make you think it's that like the lead guy who's like actually hard eyes because they're like making it the red herring, and it's like, well, clearly it's not that because that would be dumb or too obvious, you know.
But what if?
But what if it is him? And then he like, yeah, they like do way too much to make you think it's him, to only for it to be like characters you met literally one time. Like pulls off the mask. It's me. I turn to my girlfriend and I'm like, who's that? I'm like, she's like, oh, it's the IT guy who had that one scene. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah, they took
it was just so
two
dumb.
movies this year for Valentine's Day, really.
Olivia Holt.
Oh yeah, from Disney Channel.
She was in Kicking It.
Yeah, she was in Disney. I
And
forgot.
Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, she was a Disney kid.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's
All
what I
right.
was gonna. That's
Okay.
originally what I was gonna say when we were
Okay.
gonna do this the other day. Or review
Oh,
this
and
last week.
Dog with a Blog. Who can forget?
Yeah, she was actually decent
Okay.
for coming from.
Yeah,
you know, but you're right. It's a poorly written. We got a action Valentine's Day movie this year and a horror Valentine's Day movie this year, but we didn't get like a. I think they tried something different and
Yep,
did not
it
work.
did not work.
On either account.
Either side. Action rom-com and horror rom-com.
Neither
and
one.
neither of them work. Just do the rom-com.
Just do the rom-com.
You can't get lost in the sauce on 3 genres for your movie. You know what I mean? Like you can't.
Yeah, the horror comedy rom-com thing.
That'd be
was-
like if you're
it's too
watching
much.
Guardians of the Galaxy and then it turns into a horror movie and you're like, what? No,
Like a real one.
Play
Like
Hooked on a
Cheese
Feeling.
Grater, and
Yeah,
you're
play
like,
Hooked on a
what?
Feeling. Play Mr. Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm paying to see.
Yeah, this one gets this. I'm gonna give this a 3.
That's what you gave Love Hurts. You gave Love Hurts a 3. I gave Love Hurts a 4. I'm gonna go less, and I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay.
Because I thought Love Hurts was better because it was funnier. It was more comical.
Okay.
Even though Ariana
yes, but I
DeBose
feel like they were
sucked.
both just.
This movie
ugh,
was
to
just
get through.
plain. It's the most vanilla fucking movie you will ever watch in your entire life. Like nothing cool or interesting happens, even conceptually. Like
What if you stab at me and miss closely 6
the
or 7
kills
times?
aren't even good. Like the first kill where he's like murdering the like bride or whatever, the insufferable bride, like where her head like pops because he puts her in like the centrifuge like thing
Yeah.
or whatever. Like that's cool. That felt like
That's
kind
how
of like
these-
Saw.
This is how the movie started, though. Even Thanksgiving started cool as hell.
Thanksgiving started way
Like
cool.
that first 10 minutes, you're like, yes!
I don't remember anything that happened in that fucking movie, if I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Yeah, then it got real twisty and up its own ass.
yeah. Don't watch this movie.
this is not a
Skip this
recommend for
movie. It's gonna be lost to time and just forgotten about.
Yeah.
That's I'm like I know
The
what they were
sequels-
going
The
for.
sequel that they will inevitably make will flop hard. I agree with you.
I don't think they'll make a sequel.
I
I don't
hope
think this
not.
gets a sequel. I don't think so. I don't even think this mask makes it to Spirit Halloween this year.
They'll call it the Love Eyes.
Love Eyes. Yeah.
Murderer.
Love Eyes. Love Eyes murderer mask. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're 100% right. And no one will buy it. And there will be 40 of them on the
In
shelf.
the dumpster at the end.
Yeah.
And you can, hot tip. check a Spirit dumpster on November
Spirit
1st
dumpster
for free.
for free Love Eyes murderer masks. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I'm sorry if we were harsh. I'm sorry if you like this movie. That's fine if you like it. Clearly, a bunch of critics on Rotten Tomatoes love
Yeah,
this
this
movie.
thing
So
is-
it's sitting in like 80s, 90s, like 80s,
In the
70s.
80s, yeah.
Which is crazy.
The audience score is not as high, though.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
that was in the 70s.
No, it's
or
not good.
60s,
It's
so.
not even like critically good. There's like nothing.
Yeah, I
like,
don't
good about
understand
it.
because
Yeah.
it's different. I felt like critics were like, well, this
They
is
took a
different.
chance.
We got to give them the, yeah.
Yeah, but it's swing and a miss. Yeah, so,
Mm.
coming summer, subscribe, like, go watch
it.
all our other stuff. We're desperate. So,
Please. Oh, we should do like adopt it like the Starving Children video, but for subscribers.
yeah,
Like, hi. Here at CTS.
we need views. For just 1 view a day.
Lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy